Hey, I am back. Thank you. I am Renee William, a recovering addict, and who love to tell you that I am a recovering addict. I'm clean, just clean. Tonight we're going to talk about addiction, and we're going to apply that in our daily lives. And tonight is, I'm on fire, y'all. I'm on fire because recovery is the best thing that ever happened in my life. Showed me that I can recover. We can recover over anything, everything in our lives. Let us take a moment of silence for the addict who still suffer in and outside of these walls, outside in the streets. Let us take a moment. My God, my God, my God. Man, it's Friday, y'all. This week that went by so fast. Thank you for every comment. Thank you for every text. Thank you for every call. Hey, Auntie, I see my auntie is on here. She my favorite person tonight. Shout out. I want to give some shout out. I want to give some shout out to the people that's been clean, who's celebrating clean time tonight, tomorrow, the next week or the next week. Shout out to the 12 Steps of Narcotics Anonymous program who taught me how to live without the use of drugs, taught me how to live without putting the drugs and the alcohol in my mouth. And I thank God for that. I want to give a shout out to the ones who have lost a loved one to addiction, overdoses. Shout out to the ones that was left behind to, keep moving on, keep living on. And thank God I had a son that had a struggle with narcotics. And he ain't here, but he here in my heart. I thank God for that. I thank God. Hey, Miss Maddie, how you doing? Good to see you, Miss Maddie. And thank God that he found peace. Just like I'm living in peace. And I thank God for the ones that thought they couldn't make it, the ones that thought they couldn't do it, the ones that thought they couldn't change. And change come when you change it. Can't nobody change you but you. Tonight we're talking about enough is enough. Did you hear what I said? Enough is enough. And I wanted to talk about addiction because a lot of people got older, that used to drink, used to have an addiction of alcohol and drugs and pills or weed or prostitution. I had it all. I did it all. And through the grace of God, who I call the God of my understanding, has delivered us off of drugs, alcohol, any narcotic that has caused our lives some damage, some shame, some brokenness. But we made it. But tonight, enough is enough. And we're going to talk about that because y'all need to apply that in your daily life. Because we get clean, we got to speak out. Enough is enough. How many of y'all know enough is enough? And you have to get yourself together. I remember, I want to give a couple shout outs. Shout out to my godmother. I want to give a shout out to Miss Maddie, who I love very much. I want to give a shout out to my aunties, Evelyn, Wanda. I want to give shout out to all my friends in the NA community all over the world who watches me from all over the world. A shout out to you all because we finally found the purpose in life to live without the use of anything, without the use of anything, and I thank God for that. I want to get a shout out. I got here. Evangelist Selena Green is in the room. Pastor Ray, Lanier Ray is in the room. Shakori Nash is in the room. And all the other ones for support. Without support, we still have to do what we have to do, but I thank God for my support. Let's come on with it. Let's come on with it. Why did I use drugs? Because it made me feel good. Why did I get out of character? Because it made me feel good. Why did I lose purpose of what I wanted to do in life? Because it made me feel good. Why did I hide behind drugs and alcohol? Because I didn't have a program. I didn't have nothing to help me figure out the way. Why did I keep using? Because I put God on the shelf and forgot him there and left him there. But guess what? When the pain got great enough, who did I have to pick back up? The God of my understanding. I had to go to him and let him know, it's some change that I need to do in our life. Enough is enough. Enough doing drugs, enough trying to fit in, enough trying to be like somebody else, enough trying to stay on bottom. I keep it real because I don't know no other way. All I know, I won't let nothing separate me from the love of God. Nothing. He's my friend. He's my lawyer. He's my doctor. He's my NA manager. You heard what I said? He helps me in the 12 Steps of Narcotics Anonymous program. I had somebody, come on y'all, check this out. I had somebody to send me a bunch of emails and they told me last week, what you doing ain't helping. I mean, they straight up told me that what you doing ain't helping. People still using, people still dying. And I had to text them back and say, but I can't save everybody. I only can help the ones who want to be helped. And somebody through this broadcast has been getting help. Last week I was able to take 2 people to inpatient. I was able to take some people to a meeting. So no matter what somebody tell you or try to throw that stone at you, you got to catch that stone and throw it back. You got to say, guess what? Everybody won't get help, but they'll remember this message to let them know that there's still help out there. Why you think we got so much killing, so much dividing? Drugs, alcohol, personality addiction, hate addiction. We got all kind of addiction. They ain't just drug addiction. Don't get it twisted. People think it's just drugs. People say, well, drugs made me do it. Drugs ain't never made you do it. Drugs made us sick. But we have to realize that we can't blame everything on drugs. We can't blame everything on alcohol. It's our decision. It's our behavior. It's our impulsiveness. It's our character. So when we get to a part to say enough is enough, it is. Enough was enough. I burned so many bridges. I made so many mistakes. We made so many mistakes. Come on, y'all. Y'all know it. We end up in places that we thought we would never end up. In jail. Behind bars. On the streets. In the alleys. We made a lot of bad choices. But through it all, enough is enough. If you don't understand what enough is enough, then you missed it. You missed something. Recovery don't have a price. It have steps. You have to get you a sponsor. You have to go to meetings. You have to do service work. Hey, Miss Maddie, you have to do service work in recovery. When I came in running. I came in trying to find a reason why we can't stop getting high. You got to find a way. I was broken. We were broken. We were determined to keep using. No matter how we feel or how sick we got. No matter how we didn't pay our rent. No matter how we got evicted. No matter how we end up in the hospital due to drugs and alcohol. And boy, it's still doing what it's doing. So to that guy who sent me that message, I'm still going to keep doing what I'm doing. You can't break me from that because this is a part of my life. This is what gives me the right to get up in the morning so I can change somebody's way of thinking. Some of our kids going to get on drugs. Some of our kids is on drugs. Some of our husbands, some of our wives, nieces and nephews. Some people have died on drugs. They have died on overdoses. So can't nobody tell me that this drug, this thing, this demon that I call it, ain't real. Enough is enough. Until you start finding the God of your understanding and get into a program to get help, you don't know which way to go. I didn't. You know, I can only tell you the truth. I didn't know which way to go. I didn't know which way to turn. I didn't know that it was a 12-step anonymous program. I didn't know somebody was out there to help me. To my counselor, Sterling White. To Sterling White, I thank him every day that I wake up because I changed my life on account of the God of my understanding and him helping me and showing me a new way to live. We can find a new way to live because we all done made mistakes. We all addicted to something. You remember all the stuff I told you I was addicted to. I was addicted to everybody's husband other than mine. Yeah, I was. Y'all know I talk about that all the time. That's another thing I'm happy about. I don't want your headaches no more. I don't want him no more. I want, I don't want to not live right no more. Recovery has been good to us. It's what we make out of it. I ain't got to get out in the streets and do bad things to get one more hit. One is too many, and 1,000 is never enough. Somebody said, Renee, what that mean? I mean, once you start that one, you're going to keep on going for years. It ain't no one day. You're going to keep going for years. The stuff that they was putting in them drugs, and boy, man, every time I go to a meeting or I go speak, the biggest thing I hear is fentanyl, crack, heroin. It's still doing what it's supposed to do out here. So we have to change the way I think. But tonight, I want to tell you something. Once we get into recovery, once we change, guess what? Once we stop using drugs, you got to say enough is enough in your daily life. Because we're going to run up on some things that people's going to hurt us still while we clean. We're going to run up on people that just don't like us because. But I'm not trying to fit in no more. Sometimes it's a time and season when you got to move yourself around. That's why they say people's, places, and things, you got to watch that. And because we clean, we think that, that we untouchable, that ain't nobody going to still come after us. Ain't nobody going to still try to hurt us. Ain't nobody going to still try to get jealous of us or be jealous of us. But see, I noticed one thing. We ain't got to stay where we ain't wanted. We ain't got to stay where we can't be used. We ain't got to stay to try to compete against somebody else. We ain't got to do that. Enough is enough. We paid the price already for using drugs for all them years. We paid that price. And I didn't get clean to let my mind wonder or let our mind wondering, why did this person do this? Why did this happen? Why did this man ain't got a word? Why did this woman ain't got a word? I really didn't know that when you get clean, that you was going to have so many haters or you was going to have so many people that was fighting against you. Everybody don't like it when you get clean and help another individual. Everybody don't like that. Everybody don't like that because they can see that glow on you, but they ain't got that glow on themselves. We ain't gotta fit in no more. We ain't gotta be in everything. We ain't gotta be on front line. We ain't gotta, pick certain peoples we deal with. We ain't gotta pick a person that we look up to and then that person hurt us. That's only looking at man. Looking at man. Enough is enough. Enough. Sometimes we get in our lives to where we can't understand. Sometimes we got to let a place go that we once loved to go to. See, I had to learn that enough is enough. What do that mean, Miss Renee? Enough is enough. Enough with your kids, enough with friends, enough with associates. God always remove peoples out of your life and put new peoples in your life. And we find out that they not right, or we find out that they trying to hurt us, then enough is enough. You let go. You move around. You find your way. Don't lose your purpose being clean. Don't lose your purpose on being clean. because our purpose was to get clean, was to do better. We ain't gonna never be perfect, but we'll be better. We get better. I know that. You can't judge people, but some people like hurting people. Some people get jealous of other people. Some people get to where they won't even shake your hand. They won't even say nothing, or they'll look you in the face and tell you it's a go, and the go never came. See, you ain't got to do too much to us, because we know how the fake peoples are. We know how the people that some peoples want to see us fail. I ain't never wanted to see nobody fail. I ain't never wanted to see nobody fail. If that was the case, I wouldn't try to help people, and I wouldn't try to take people to a meeting, or take you to inpatient, or take you, pick you up and take you from one meeting to another. I don't never want to see nobody fail. But we living in a very strange world right now. And we got to deal in the midst of the strange world. But one thing I do know, most of us, or a lot of us, ain't never gonna pick up no more. I know I ain't. I can't speak for nobody else. I ain't pleasing nobody else. I just can't do it. Enough was enough. I went through my whole life. We went through our whole life trying to people please, trying to help people. Trying to help them when they couldn't even help themselves. But we get clean for a reason. We get clean to see clearly, to understand that I can't look at man no more. I can't put all the first the hope and dream in a woman and in a man. I have to look at the God of my understanding and have a personal relationship with him and talk to him on a daily basis. And why do we have to do that? To strengthen us, to keep us out of harm's way. Yeah, I like being clean. I like to know that somebody didn't use today. Because somebody gonna die tonight. Somebody gonna die tomorrow from drugs and alcohol. And I don't want to see that. I wouldn't wish this on my own enemy. Because see, ones who ain't never used, then you wouldn't understand. If you ain't never been a dope fiend or a crackhead or an alcoholic, you wouldn't understand. If you ain't never been homeless, how can you understand? If you ain't never been hungry, how can you understand? If you ain't never used drugs and been prostituting, how can you understand? If you ain't never been broken to where when you on the bottom, how can you understand? So sometimes God uses people that's been broken. Most of the people that he used has been broken. Like me, like you. How we had to find our way in order to understand what brokenness really means. But let me tell you a secret. I thank God for the brokenness. I thank God for that. Because we didn't see our way. But because we were broken, it strengthened us. I remember when my boyfriend used to bounce me upside my head and hit me upside my head. I was broken. Because I let you bounce and hit me upside my head. Because I was on drugs. I was insecure. I thought I needed you. But because of the brokenness, I wish a man would hit me or pop me upside my head. Even though I'm clean. I ain't having it. Enough is enough. We have to change our old ways and become new. We have to understand what we went through. People say, well, why do people get on drugs? Why did you buy your car? Because you liked it. Why you got every pair of glasses to match your clothes? Because you liked it. Why do you drink? Because you like it. You can escape pain. See, the strong peoples, the ones that's been broken, you are so strong, you can't be broken no more. You can't be broken. Even when death come to us, even when my son and my mother died, I felt like I was broken. But God came, the God of my understanding came and read and picked me up. He came read and picked us up when we felt ourselves being broken. So many people we love was dying. So, my best friend, my mother was my best friend. And when she died, I was broken. But I had to find a net, a work net that worked for me. And that was the Women's in Recovery. I had to call on them because I was scared. I didn't want to go back and get high. I didn't go around telling nobody and write on my head, I am scared, please help me. No, I called on my women's to help me because I was struggling in the midst of being clean. How? People say, how you going to struggle in the midst of being clean? Lose a loved one, lose somebody you talk to every day, lose your mother, lose your father. It ain't hit home for some of us yet. It hit home for me. But I thank God for my mother for all the years that God gave her to me. I thank God for that. But when we come in, when we came out of recovery, when we got into recovery, we was broken. We was broken. How you want me to get up there and go in treatment and tell somebody I'm an addict? I don't know what I am. All I know, I came in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous program. You got to let me get here. Something brought me here. I did too much of something to come into recovery. But long as they kept saying, keep coming until the miracle happened, I didn't know what that means. That's why they say keep coming. And then I finally remember and I finally knew what that means. I am the miracle. I am that miracle. You are that miracle. Don't never let nobody take your hopes and dreams from you. Because I've seen people's, hey Sabrina, how you doing, baby? I came in and I saw people that was broken just like me. Guess what? They went back to school. They still clean. They got their doctor's degree. They got their lawyer's degree. Some of them became police. Some of them became teachers. Once you've been broken, you know what it takes to get back there. So you don't go back there. But every brokenness that we went through was a teachable lesson of what we will not ever do again. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. If you want to keep using and keep dying, using drugs is a slowly death. You can use for years, and all of a sudden one day it can just damage everything. You have to learn how to let go of things that you can't change. Shout out to my daughter who stopped smoking weed I call it the funny stick. I said, Bleachers, I really appreciate, I really thank you, baby. Stop smoking that funny stick, and I appreciate, I'm really proud of you. Mama proud of you. Anybody that made a change in their life or a career in their life, I'm proud of all of them. Everybody grows. Nobody lose. Only people that I thought that I think that didn't get a chance to see their life grow is all my friends who I lost through addiction. And I lost many due to addiction. And that's why I tell you this stuff is real. This ain't no joke. This ain't something we play with. These are our lives. We affecting other people's in our lives. We affecting our kids. We affecting our mothers. We affecting our brothers. When I came in, I wasn't a perfect mom. But I wasn't a bad mom. I could have did better. But due to the drugs of my addiction, I didn't make a lot of good decisions. And it took me to go through that for me to see it now. Recovery. The reason I tell you recovery is so good, because you don't know what the next person went through to get there to make it to a meeting. to tell you that they clean. I've seen people get up and cry and fall to the floor because they've been broken. And people think because we get clean that everything is going to change and everything is going to be perfect. No, it ain't. We still got challenges going to come our way. We still got people that's going to hurt us. We still going to have people that we looked up to that change. But one thing I found out about recovery, if nothing changed, nothing changed. We have to change the things that we want to change. Our surroundings, our relationships, being in the wrong places, and we know we ain't supposed to be in them places. That's why they tell us people, places, and things we can't use no matter what. If y'all tell me again that I can't use no matter what, I'm going to be mad. Because I didn't understand it. But I'm going to tell you why I understood it. When I lost my mother, and they said, Renee, you can't use no matter what happened. I know you in pain. I know you're going through, you struggling, but you can't use no matter what. How y'all going to tell me I can't use? Maybe that'll help me while I'm going through this devastation time in my life. No, Renee, you can't use. Y'all know you can't use. They said no matter what. No matter what. No matter what. So I got to deal with this with some water instead of some alcohol. I got to deal with this with a natural feeling. I can't use. I can't do that. But I'm going to tell you something. Even the amount of clean time that I did have, that urge came. Don't let nobody tell you that urge don't come. Because when we are broken and going through, our old way was to drink, to go get a hit, to go take some drugs. But we in a new way to live. I'm in a new way. We are in a new way to live. We can't use drugs no more. Drugs did its job on us. Enough was enough. Enough of me taking our rent money. Enough of us taking our car note money. Enough taking our kids' money and go and use with it. Enough is enough. I'm tired of waking up with all these different men and I can't remember if I slept with them or not. Enough is enough. I'm tired of selling my stuff out the house just to get one more hit. Enough is enough. I'm tired of surrounding myself with people that don't mean me no good. Enough is enough. I'm tired of being on bottom and didn't know how to get back up. Enough is enough. So what I do now, enough is enough. See, when I get that feeling, talking to my sister today, we had a good time talking. When I get that feeling that enough is enough, it's enough. I don't owe you nothing. I just move around. Because we still got to live. And if we try to live pleasing man and woman, we're going to fail again. And we'll find ourselves using again. We'll find ourselves going back down memory lane again. We paid the price to say that. Y'all don't know. Y'all just don't know what addicts go through. Y'all don't know what people is thinking. That mental illness came in. The depression came in. The anxiety came in. Y'all don't know. For some of these people just don't know how we struggle just to make it another day. How we cried behind the walls. How we wanted to give up behind the walls. But they tell us we can't use no matter what. Life teaches us a journey. And the journey takes us through. And we have to learn how to stop saying yes and say no. That's what we have to. trying to people please. You know, I ain't trying to compete against nobody. I did that when I was trying to smoke the most dope than anybody. I'm not trying that no more. When your life changes, you become better. You think better, you do better, you see better. And sometimes we got to walk on the path that, well, why did this happen? I don't understand why that happened. Everything happened is a wake-up call. Everything happened is a lesson to be learned. It's a lesson to be learned. And we came far. Enough is enough. Don't get in recovery trying to please everybody. Get in recovery for you. Not for your mama, not for your daddy, not for your sisters and brothers. Because see, your mama and your daddy and sisters and brothers can't keep you clean. Only we can do that. Going to meetings, doing service work, getting a sponsor, going to conventions, you know, helping another individual stay clean. That's how I made it. I can't speak for nobody else, but that's how I made it. I had to let go of a lot of things to gain much. I had to let go. Enough is enough. Enough of people think they can walk over you because they can. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. I'm so glad God ain't like man and woman. I'm so glad. Because see, God don't pretend. What he do very well. And eventually it'll show up through the life you live. You heard what I said, through the life you live. You got to do things like God wants you to do it. That self-will of me trying to take over, manage and control, can't do it. You got to turn it over to a God of your understanding. Because we didn't wake ourselves up this morning. But some people think they did. Remember last week I told you that man said I woke my own self up this morning. I'm like, you did what? Yeah, I woke my own self up this morning. And I said, well, he living on a different planet than I'm on. So let me not feed into that. But do you know how many houses have been broken? How many hearts that's been broken? Because we as the people were so selfish and thought about ourselves when it came to using drugs. Do you know how many people looked up to us and wanted us to be there and wanted us to show up, but we was doing drugs and alcohol? Do you know? Enough is enough. Enough is enough. We can't keep using and think we're going to get away with it. That's how so many people end up in jail. So many people end up on their deathbed. So many people come up homeless, nowhere to go. The drugs do one thing, and that's kill, steal, and destroy. You're right, Miss Maddie. Decent and in order. So today when I wanted to say enough is enough, because we had to apply that in our lives right today. How much is you going to take from another individual just to show that you can take it? I ain't doing that no more. I don't want the old me to come back. Because see, the old me can come out at any given time. The old me can come back at any time. That's why I have to separate myself and go and get in a quiet place. I can't change nobody but me. You can't change nobody but you. And the first change is to love yourself. And when you love yourself, you do different things for yourself. I had multiples of addictions. People just thought I had drug addiction. People just think people just have drug addiction. No, you have behavioral addictions. You have attitude addictions. You have impulsiveness addiction. You have cutting addiction. You have depression addiction. Anxiety addiction. You have lying addiction. You have stealing addiction. You have I want to be in the front addiction. When you deal with one, and that's the drugs and alcohol, you will deal with it all. Because when you get clean, you can look at yourself and see what I need to change. And I had to look at myself when I came into recovery. What do I need to change? What is it that I really need to change? Me? If I change me, everything else will change. If I change me, enough is enough will change. And that's what we have to do. We have to get in a place in our life to start feeling sorry for ourselves. Okay, what I done in the past, I done. I can't change it. But I can show not repeat it. I can show find a better way to live. I can show prosper myself by not doing the things that I used to do. Not sitting in front of somewhere or sitting in front of somebody's place and you know you harboring ill feelings. That ain't good for the soul and that ain't good for you. I learned one thing. I learned many things, but I know my mama used to tell me, when something don't feel right, help it out. Move around. When something is holding you hostage and you don't like it, move around. Enough is enough. We have to keep that energy, that positive energy. And when I go into a place and the energy seems to disappear, then I must disappear. Hey, Stella, I must. Enough. Hey, Stella, good to see you. Enough is enough. And where do you get that from? I let the dope man use me. Enough was enough. I let people use me. I nurtured everybody else but me. I sit there and let you hurt me over and over again until enough was enough. Can't put your hands on me no more. You can't make me feel low no more. You can't keep hurting me over and over again no more. I'm not letting you do that no more. I got clean for a purpose. I got clean to change some things. I got clean to look at my life for what it really was. I got clean to know that I'm not going back to prison. I was in prison for years. The drug of addiction was my prison. Hey, Dex, good to see you, Dex. What do you mean you was in prison? Well, do y'all not understand what drugs do to you? It captivates you. It puts you in a place to where you stuck. It puts you in a place where all you want to do to use to live and live to use. So in my mind, in the state of my mind, I was living in prison in my head. My dirty thinking, how I was thinking, what I was doing, who I was hurting, over and over again. Enough is enough. Remember I told you I got a fetish with tissue paper. Why you got a fetish with tissue paper, Renee, when everybody got fetish for toes and nails and sniffing underwear? And I ain't got that kind of fetish. I got a fetish when I was using, I could never find no tissue paper. Never did I find a tissue paper. And then I started using the curtain, the tissue paper, the garbage bag to wipe my butt. And people say, oh, you lying. I said, okay, you better be glad you didn't know me back then. Because you would have been smelling some mess for real, for real. And that's why I go in my bathroom and I tell y'all all the time, little bitty simple things that we took for granted. Now I go in my bathroom gonna always stay full of tissue paper. Well, yours probably would too if you wiped your butt with curtains and tissue paper and anything you can get your hands on. Keep it real now. Y'all know how we used to gang up. I remember when tissue paper was 25 cents. And I couldn't even come up with 25 cents. Enough is enough. And why do we shortchange ourselves? Why do we do the thing? Why do we let people hit us? Why do we let people hurt our feelings? Why do we let people keep us at the bottom? Why do we isolate all the time? Why did we do that to ourselves? We had lost the care of God as I understand it. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to know that I am somebody. I'm grateful to know that y'all are somebody. Everybody don't think alike. Everybody don't preach alike. Everybody don't do everything alike. But what I do alike, I love. I love everybody. I even love you enough to get away from you. That's how much I love you. Because I don't never want the old me to surface back up. Every day I struggle. Every day, I want to keep being clean. No matter what pain I go through, what comes in my life, what journey I got to go through, who gonna hurt my feelings? Why do I couldn't go to a meeting? Why do I got hurt at a meeting? Why did somebody hurt my feelings? That's life on life term. You have to learn to love yourself enough to leave drugs and alcohol. Anything that's contaminated to me, I got to leave it. And sometimes I find people that are very contaminated for me. And I'm so glad that I don't have to go and hide in somebody else's garage, including my own, and get high and fall asleep. Get high and fall asleep. Or get high and get high and get high. Say, Renee, you crazy. No, I ain't crazy. That's real. Real talk. I'm so glad that I don't have to give you money and send you money for you to love me or like me. Enough is enough. I'm so glad that I don't have to let you manipulate me. And you know I can't use. You know what kind of place I'm in my life. But enough is enough. I know what the doctor did to me and they think they gonna get away with it. Enough is enough. I have no tolerance. What? You ain't got no tolerance? I ain't got no tolerance. None. What happened to it? I don't know, but it better stay there. I ain't got no tolerance. For liars, for cheaters, for hurt, for pain, I ain't got no tolerance. That's why I stay to myself. That's why I stay to myself. I ain't got no tolerance. I ain't taking it no more. Everything that the Satan stole from me, I want it back. I'm getting it back. I ain't no tolerance. Cause see, the God of my understanding is gonna help me move. He gonna help me to grow. He gonna send me where he want me to go. He gonna help me where I need help in. Thank God to the therapist. Come on now, I forgot y'all. I don't want to leave y'all out. Thank God to the counselors and the therapists who have helped people all over the world find a solution to get off of drugs and alcohol. I love the counselors and therapists because their jobs are very special to us. Because they are the first peoples that we hear, other than the God of our understanding, that know what we're going through. And I thank God for that. I thank God for the times that I thought I was just going to break. I was bent over. I thought we was going to break. But somehow God lifted us up and started us a new day. We can't use no matter what. Don't let nobody steal your joy. Do you hear what I said? Don't let nobody steal your joy. So they can prosper off of stealing your joy. Don't let that happen. Everything God made is good. And we all have to make decisions. And I made a decision that everything I lost, I want it back. Enough is enough. I don't have to deal with nobody that don't want to deal with me. Enough is enough. I don't have to smoke no more dope so me and you can be friends. Enough is enough. I don't have to drink. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough in my world is enough. We paid the price to stay clean. See, we can't do like other people. They lose loved ones, people die, or somebody get killed, or somebody hurt, and they can go and take a drink. And I ain't that type of person. You know, if I take a drink, I want the whole bottle, fifth, sixth, whatever bottle, pint, I want it all. I ain't that kind of drinker. If I take one drink, that's it. Go get me 3 or 4 more bottles. If I use drugs, I can't stop there. I can't just stop. I ain't that kind of addict. I'm an addict that wants it all. I don't know how to stop. That's why I'm scared that I ain't never going back to that disease. Oh, no. That's it. Done deal. But I tell y'all what. Love peoples no matter who don't love you. Be nice and kind to peoples. Treat peoples the way you really wanted to be treated. You don't have to fit in just to be like somebody else. Even clean. That was my problem. That's why most of people that's addict, that's what happened. Denial, betrayal, hurt, pain, over and over again. Not dealing with the things that we was dealing with. Not talking to someone. Not going to see a therapist. Hey, I don't see nothing wrong with seeing a therapist. If a therapist can hold everything I got to say, let's go. Let's go. People say, oh, you got a therapist, you crazy. No, I got more sense than you because I went and got me some help. I got more sense than you got. You still stuck. 20 years ago. You still stuck on 20 years. If I got to get me the therapist, I'm going to get the best therapist. And I'm going to go and talk to you, and I'm going to sit there, and I'm going to tell you what's going on so I won't break, so I won't go back and get high. Enough is enough. Give me a therapist. Yeah, I'm going to tell you everything. I got 5 years of talking to you that I need to tell you that I didn't use behind. Did you hear me? Yeah. Yeah. Let me get me a good therapist. I've been helping everybody else. I need some help. I need to I need somebody to talk to with all these feelings I got. Why they think they better than me and they can drink and I can't? I'm an addict. Don't you ever forget you're an addict. You're an addict, no matter what. You're a recovering addict. And don't let nobody tell you different. Nobody tell you nothing different. We are addicts. We are recovering addicts. We have a thing to where we have to learn how to not be like everybody else. I had to find my own identity. I had to understand, why I was raped at 9 years old by somebody I respected and loved. I didn't understand that at the age of 9. There's no way I can understood that. That stuff ain't supposed to happen to little girls at 9 years old. So my addiction started, my addiction started there because nobody kind of knew. Nobody knew. I didn't tell nobody. So I snuck and drank. I snuck and smoked weed. I was so hurt. I was in pain. And then guess what? That hurt went to the next year. And that hurt went to the next year because I didn't know who would believe me. I knew my mama was believing me. But because you told me if I tell my mama you would kill my mama, then that scared me as a 9-year-old kid. Come on, how you gonna tell somebody you just took my vagina? And how you gonna tell me that if I tell my mama that what you just did to me, you gonna kill me? You knew that would devastate me. At 9 years old, enough is enough. How I supposed to deal with that? Oh, you want me to tell you how I deal with it? I ate up everything that I can see in the refrigerator, in the table, in the living room. That's how I deal with it. I started using drugs and stealing alcohol. That's how I deal with it. I started letting everybody use me and touch me in places that I didn't want to. That's how I deal with it. I didn't know how to deal with it. Tell me that a 9-year-old know how to deal with stuff like that. Tell me. You can't. And then we wonder why people grow up. You know, I look on TV and I look on Facebook and I see all these people. I see all these crackheads on the street. And some of them look like somebody's mother, somebody's grandmama. And they tell me, well, my stepdad was raping me and my mother didn't believe me. So he kept raping me. Oh, I was 4 years old and my brothers was raping me and I couldn't tell nobody. And then I started just sleeping with them just to sleep with them. Then I started sleeping with their friends just to sleep with them at 4 and 5 years old. Come on now. Hey, and then you wonder why people use drugs and alcohol so they can run from the pain. They can run from being mistreated and don't know how to deal with it. Or let's do better than that. How you got 9 kids, but you treat all of them better and you leave me out of everything. You deny me a love. You deny me a conversation. You deny me a buying clothes. And then you turn around and give your husband to me. Come on. How can enough is enough. We got all these stories of why people is broken. And the man get on Facebook and he be on there talking to these people and they say, why is you prostitute? Why is you out here like that? How much drugs do you do a day? And she said, I don't know. I just shoot up. I don't want to deal with nothing. I don't want to deal with my uncles and my brothers and my dad having sex with me. At 7 years old. So she ran the drugs. And she been out there ever since. Why? Why did you kill this man? I got a friend right now. Why did you kill this man? Because he was sleeping with both of my daughters. Real talk. She killed that man for sleeping with her daughter. She caught her boyfriend sleeping with her baby. So y'all can't tell me that people get on drugs just to get on it. You can't tell me. It's a reason why people get on drugs. It's a reason why people hide. It's a reason why we isolate. It's a reason why we run the drugs. And it's a reason why we keep using drugs. Because we haven't found the foundation that will help us figure out, why did this happen? Why did that happen? And see, because of one incident, because of one rape by somebody I trusted caused me to do what? Eat, eat, eat. Use, get high. At 12 years old, I was 200 and some pounds. I remember my mama kept saying, why you eat so much? You need to stop all that eating. 17, I was 300 pounds. And 20 years ago, even when I first came into recovery, I was 504 pounds. So people can't tell me that other addiction comes because of your using drugs and alcohol. They can't tell me that. Can't nobody tell me that. But you do your thing, and I'm going to do my thing. I'm an addict. I can't use no matter what. I can't use. The only thing that I figured out that was almost at the breaking point for me is when I had to bury my mother and my son. I had never experienced nothing like that. So I'm telling y'all, when y'all in recovery and things is going okay, when I tell you that when somebody you love, you lose them, and you breaking, but you can't use no drugs and alcohol, You better use whatever you can, a therapist, a brother, a sister, the God of your understanding, because it's easy to pick back up. All it takes is one. Just one. I hope to God I never go back to that. So I thank God. I thank God for all the ones who came on. I always say enough is enough of anything. Enough of the crazy thinking. Enough of trying to please everybody else. Please yourself. Start doing things for yourself. Life gonna go on. Places gonna go on. People's gonna go on. It's all about pleasing yourself without no drugs or alcohol. And so I know for the ones that's struggling, please come in. Don't stay out there. You're going to stay out there too long. You're going to stay out there too long. You're going to die out there in that world of addiction. You're going to die out there. Please get some help. Anybody who needs some help, I know where to send you. I know where to take you. You don't have to stay in that alone. You don't have to do that. So I wish everybody the best. And on Sunday at Sunday at 2:00, we all go over the steps. And people's always ask me, what's the purpose of going over the steps? I said, because some people don't understand the steps. Some people don't know how to read. Now I'm telling you what was brought to me. Some people can't read, or they don't want to read in front of nobody at the meeting and let them know they can't read. So they want to hear the steps. They want to know how you start working the steps. So next to this coming Sunday, y'all, Sunday at 2:00, we will be on step 4. We made a searching. You hear me? Y'all pay attention to this, and this is a good one. We made a searching and fearless more inventory of ourselves. Hey, Lanier, good to see you. So I thank you. Enough is enough. We got to get to a point when we stop doing drugs and alcohol. Enough was enough. And when you get clean and come into an area of your life where you're doing better, tell yourself enough is enough. I always tell you, I say it all the time, enough, I ain't got time for that. Enough is enough, I ain't doing it. I ain't going back there. I ain't doing it. I ain't got to take that. Enough is enough. Let that person go. Surrender. I can't control it. I can't do nothing about it. So enough is enough. And guess what? Tell somebody you love them today. Don't let the night go without you telling somebody that you love them. Because we don't know who's going to be here in the morning and who's going to die in the night. We don't know. So God bless you. Thank you for coming in and being a part of this process. Thank everyone that got on my broadcast. Thank everyone that comes on after my broadcast. Thank one that comes on through the night, in the morning. Thank you. And try to help another addict. If you see somebody stressed out or going through something, try to help. Because their life depends on it. And I thank you. God bless you. And if ain't nobody told you that Miss Renee said they love you, tell her that. Tell them to say that Miss Renee said she loved me. And with that, I love y'all. And I'll see y'all on Sunday. Tell her to come fix this because I couldn't cut it off. Where's Savannah? Savannah? Savannah!
She come out in the bathroom, but you did good.
Tell her to fix that. I thought I hit done. Give it to her behind there.
Press done.